your socks! Hey!
The Lost Art with Andrew Cox podcast, now streaming on all major podcast platforms. A Till Valhalla Project ambassador. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast. That podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a fireside chat with the crew. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? And make sure you go to the Lost Art website. That's the lostart.podbean.com. Go check us out. See what we're all about. If there's any way you can help us out, please do so. Also, big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing amazing things. And I want to thank them for allowing me to be an ambassador for that amazing organization. If you don't know anything about them, go to their website. That's tillvalhallaproject.com. Also, another big shout out to the Marine Corps League for allowing me to be an ambassador for them. They are an amazing organization. And if you're a Marine out there, I guarantee you that you're going to get something out of it if you go join the Marine Corps League. So please go check them out and see what they're all about as well.
Same team, new mission. The Marine Corps League. A legacy of valor. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Is familiar to us all. It is that feeling you get when you see a Marine Corps sticker on a car or home proudly displaying the Marine Corps flag. We know we can knock on the door and that Marine will be there for us. Despite our many years of service to different causes, we all have that common bond. We have all earned the privilege to wear the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. The Marine Corps League is the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veterans Service organization, with detachments in 1,150 communities across the U.S. Please take a few minutes to check it out. Visit today at mcleague.org or email tribe@mcleague.org.
All right, with that, I got the crew, and we're going to go ahead and go round robin. All right, we're going to start with Aaron because he was the first one on today. Aaron, how you doing?
Doing good. Trying to stay warm down here in Florida.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier,
Cold temperatures.
it's freezing down here in Florida. No, it's been some nice weather. Cooled things off for a while. Like I was telling you earlier, got 2 trees removed from my house, so now this next hurricane season, I don't have to worry about trees falling on the house.
Nice.
So those are gone. But other than that, just working.
Yeah. That gonna work, man.
I know.
You got to
It
give
never
that up.
stops.
I know. Never. It's ridiculous. Oh, well. All right. Well, good. Aaron's been freezing to death. Vic, how are you doing?
Back and forth, it was up in the 50s yesterday, but I think it's 34, 33 degrees right here right now. So too cold to smoke a cigar, which is a pity because I got a couple of good ones. Hopefully it warms up by next week. I got CAO released their Amazon Basin, so it's actually tobacco grown in the Amazon. So it's real excited about that one. And then I had a buddy basically tell me to smoke a cigar for the show, so it was I had a donated cigar, so I was excited about that one too. So, but hopefully
you were sponsored. You were sponsored, man.
I'm almost there.
I mean, you got at least a cigar sponsored.
Yeah, well, I got a single cigar sponsored. Yes.
Hey, man, we're moving right along.
Yeah, everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
That's right. That's right.
So this week, teaching school, basically hammering out lineups for our spring concert and trying to get back into the swing of things after Christmas break. That's about it, really. Doing laundry right now.
Oh, all the fun stuff in life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mike, how you doing?
Well, first, I got to ask Vic, I mean, as a politician, are you allowed to take, handout stuff or endorsements? I mean, are you allowed to Are you allowed to do that? I mean, I had to take this training just the other day for Georgia Pacific. It was, I can't take gift cards. I can't do this. I can't. So
in the capacity of my school board, you're correct. I cannot. So if somebody said, "Hey, here's a cigar for my favorite school board member," I cannot do that.
But if they say
hey,
it's for the
buddy.
podcast,
Hey,
if they say
buddy.
it's for the podcast, you're good.
Yes, exactly. So here I am, my one sponsored cigar that's waiting in my my humidor, but we'll see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to shine light on you there, Vic.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate.
I was just
calling me out,
messing with you. Yeah.
As long as it's a legal expense, make sure you write that in the books.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, because Big Brother's always watching. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Now I'm going to get audited. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Gonna owe one cigar.
Fuck you too, Vic. There you go.
Well, I'm glad you reminded me. At the beginning, you have until March every year to submit basically the ethics commission for the state of South Carolina makes all elected officials basically make I can't remember what it's called, like a statement of monetary something, but it's basically have I received what did I make last year, and have I received any money from my campaign or blah blah blah. So you have to basically go online and say, no, I haven't received any money, and I promise, and thank you, bye, until next year. So, but thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, any of those gift cards you get slid in your handshake, that's can't.
It's like the military coins when you go to shake somebody's hand, you got the coin. But it's a gift card for the politician. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's funny they mentioned that. I think one of my students gave me like a $10 gift card to Tropical Smoothie. I should probably.
Oh my God, you're screwed, man.
I should probably claim that.
See, back in the day, we used to give teachers like the pen with the little clock in the end of it, stuff like that, or.
Oh, don't say an apple.
Yeah.
Nobody gets teachers apples anymore.
Now it's, like an Amazon gift card or something. So.
But now you're at the age that you would appreciate the apple.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Maybe there's something to that apple thing, right?
Yeah, I think there might be onto something.
Like, why an apple? Why can't it be a pear?
Yeah, I mean,
an orange.
Because I'm a traditionalist. That's why.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I actually have 2 cardio tests coming up. I have a cardio ultrasound and a cardio stress test coming up because my dad died of a heart attack, and my VA doctor was like, so we should probably do this. And I'm like, oh yeah. He go, wait a minute, your dad died of a heart attack? Okay, I'm scheduling these right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks.
One of those things. Oh,
yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
They're gonna put you on a treadmill and you got to run and do all that, like a stress test.
I haven't like done anything like that since I got like the day before I got out of the Marine Corps was the last day it worked out.
I would say that was true for me, but it was way before then. Way before then.
Yeah, we noticed.
Hey, I am perfectly fine with my pot belly over here, Mike. You leave me alone.
I just had to lose like 2 or 3 pounds in water weight so I could fit into my camis for that last ceremony, and then that was it.
I've told the story on here before, I think.
Having to buy new camis.
I had to buy new camis for my retirement because I couldn't fit in them. Yeah.
What a dirt bag.
Yeah, you didn't even look salty, man. You were like, they weren't faded, nothing. They were like,
because they were brand new.
They still had damn Irish pennants hanging off of them.
Hell yeah, they did.
I was like, you couldn't even.
Irish pennant.
It's like, really?
Hey, and for the record, I still fit in my deltas whenever I retired. So
you did, and you look good in them too. You did.
Well, I feel bad, Andrew.
I was sweating. That's for sure.
I would say I feel bad, but I don't at all.
No,
I don't even care. I didn't care when it happened. I just thought it was funny. That's the Master Gunny coming out in me, I guess. Like, I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah. Mike never did say how he's doing. But he's busy talking now. So
sorry, I had dinner ready, but my wife's like asking me a question. So no, I'm doing good. It was a good week. Can't complain.
Very nice. Very
You can
nice.
always tell how good Mike's doing by how much crap he's talking when he jumps on here.
Yeah. If he's talking a lot of crap, then we know.
Can we elaborate? Can we elaborate on that there? Can we?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead, Darren.
yeah,
Please fill
yeah.
me in. Fill me
It's
in,
it's
please.
it's funny because when you're in a good mood, you go straight for Vic's throat every time.
The struggle is real.
Sorry, Vic. I apologize.
Hey,
Oh,
my
man.
ego's big enough to take it. It's all right.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Man, that's good stuff. All right, well let's jump into it. We don't have Mark now, so we don't get veteran news, but what we do get is military news with Vic.
So slim pickings this week. It was just a bunch of like feel good stories, it seems like. But let's see. One of the top stories is U.S. military already fighting fires in California. It would appear that we have about 500 active duty troops on standby with equipment, 10 Navy helicopters with water buckets. All the stuff that's going on up there is just absolutely horrific. And prayers go out to everybody that has been affected by that fire. It is absolutely horrible. Thousands of structures burnt, hundreds of thousand acres or close to 100,000 acres now, approaching. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Then I heard somebody was talking online today about the Pacific Palisades and Malibu and all that area is like the bluest of the blue, and the regulations for rebuilding are so stringent, it's ridiculous. It takes 3 years to get a permit to rebuild, not to build, to rebuild. So from the time that you file for your permit to the time that the first load of lumber is dropped and what's going to be your redone driveway is 3 years. 3 years. It's insane.
They're not going to rebuild all that.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
Which makes you wonder. I mean, they haven't found the cause of the fire yet, but people suspect arson. So we'll see. More than 800 National Guard personnel in California, Wyoming, and Nevada are already on the ground or have been activated to provide assistance. So good on the DoD for mobilizing and helping out when they can.
I don't mean to cut you off, Vic, but you guys remember the other night when Mark was talking about that? They're doing like power outages and all that crap.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, we're going into fire season," and all of a sudden, like the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I'm more of a professional dot connector myself. Next story is the Army is working on drones from high altitude. So they're looking to deploy drones. I told you it's slim pickings when we're talking about the Army. But I thought it was interesting. They're looking at launch effect systems, or LE systems, which be integrated into hard points of an executive jet carrying aircraft, such as the Bombardier G6 6500, which would operate above 41,000 feet. So they would put all these drones in something that can fly over 41,000 feet and above 400 knots. So drones that can fly 400 knots. But they've been working on this system since 2020. So it tells me since they've been at it for 4 years now, I bet you they've got stuff out there, that is already doing it. It's interesting for the tech geeks. But let's see. And then really the last thing that I thought was of any interest to any of our listeners is TRICARE contracts are changing slightly, but it's more to make things efficient and seamless, like transitions from East Coast to West Coast. So people that are transitioning from coast to coast, which I did 5 times. I don't know about the rest of you.
You're saying that the East Coast TRICARE is actually going to talk to the West Coast TRICARE.
I know, right? It's about time.
I know that seems like a no-brainer and all,
Yeah.
but oh my God, they don't talk at all.
Yep. And for those who live in states that there are states that move from the east to the west region, Arkansas, Illinois, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, and Wisconsin. TRICARE West will accept referrals that were issued in TRICARE East. So little piddly stuff like that.
So
But
you're saying that those states that you just mentioned are now TRICARE West, but they were TRICARE East?
correct. So
Ah.
if your home of record is Oklahoma, Andrew, you can probably just switch to TRICARE West.
I had better luck with TRICARE West. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. Well, so far we haven't had any issues. Obviously we're in TRICARE East. So it's anytime one of us gets sick, we just go down to the urgent care down the street, and it's weird. It's weird. My wife and my daughter walk in, get seen, leave. If I walk in into the urgent care, I as the service member or the retired service member have to pay a $35 deductible. I know.
Why do you have to pay and they don't have to do anything?
I don't know. I do not know. I think it has something to do with VA care. Because in the system, I'm also being seen by the VA. I think that's what it is, because I could go to the VA because there's a VA clinic up in Bluffton, or up in Beaufort, I mean. And there's actually one down in Savannah too.
You're obviously enrolled in the VA.
Correct.
For medical. Aaron, are you enrolled in the VA for medical?
I have not enrolled in the VA. I'm using TRICARE Prime.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah,
they tell me though I should enroll in it, because if TRICARE Prime won't pick something up, then I can go to the VA to pick it up for medication and those types of things. But I haven't done it yet.
So when I first had my very first appointment with the VA, they basically said you can choose the VA for your healthcare, or you can choose TRICARE for your healthcare. And the VA doc basically said, I recommend you use TRICARE for your health, for your day-to-day healthcare, because it's right there next to you and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a copay, but you're still a healthy guy, even though I'm 90% disabled, you're still a healthy guy, so do all that kind of stuff. But if you need anything, what do you call it? Basically, if you need anything big, like the heart test, all that kind of stuff. If you need like hearing aids, or if you're an amputee and you need a prosthetic or something like that, you go to the VA for that. Because TRICARE will, the copay is so high for that. If you're going to get a prosthetic through TRICARE or whatever, but go to the VA for all the big stuff and your annual and maintenance healthcare, just go to TRICARE kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I got chastised. One of our best friends, Ann, you know her.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, she was basically said that's a crock. The VA doctor is basically trying to lessen his workload, and take some patients off of his plate by pushing you off to TRICARE. He should be doing this A, B, C, D, and E, and you need to go back and ask for the E, F, G, and H and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So yeah, we'll see. But so I'm getting a little bit more aggressive with the VA. So, and to an extent, I think I believe her. Why am I paying a $35 copay every time I go, when I could just go to the VA clinic and have it done for free? Well,
that's one question I have for you guys. Do you guys pay a copay to go to the VA?
Not for the VA, but for TRICARE. I pay $35 every time I go to the urgent care clinic.
No, I don't do that. I don't pay $35 every day. Now, we have to pay a certain amount, I think, throughout the year. So as long as you pay that amount, whatever it is, I don't know. I'd have to talk to my wife. She knows more about it. But once we pay that amount, then we're good.
Right there.
Yeah, right. And that's what Amy and Jenna are under. My wife, my daughter. But like for me, for whatever reason, every time I go to TRICARE, I have to pay a $35 copay.
It has to be because you're on the VA side as well.
Yeah, I think so. And honestly, I go to the urgent care infrequently enough. I might go, twice a year, 3 times a year, something like that. So it's not a big deal for me. So whatever. So I just haven't really kind of dug any deeper into it yet. But that was about it. All the rest of the stuff is, continuing to support Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's the Secretary of Defense just had his last meeting with the Ukraine Defense Council. So it's like everybody that is an ally that is helping to defend Ukraine. They like basically Austin basically just asked, can we count on you for $2 billion more in support? Huh? Can we keep doing this? Can we keep doing this? It's crazy.
Did you just say Austin? Is he still in the office up there? I didn't know
Well,
that.
yeah, until Trump takes over and fires him.
I can't imagine he would keep him, but
Yeah, I mean, well, he's trying to get Pete Hegseth approved to be the new Secretary of Defense.
that's the news guy, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Lieutenant Colonel in the Army, or was it Major?
Major
Yeah.
in the reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah. So, but I mean,
Actually, I believe he was.
Being a major in the reserves, and now what is it? What is that position that?
Actually, I think yeah.
Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? That's crazy.
Actually, I think he was in the National Guard because the Army reserve infantry units are in the National Guard. They're not in the reserves.
Oh.
No kidding.
Yep. They only reside in the National Guard. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I have a buddy from 8th and I that I believe I don't know if he still is, but he was a major in the Army National Guard. He got out of the Marine Corps and then went into the Army National Guard and became an officer. Yep.
No kidding. Wow. That's very interesting. That whole dynamic of the National Guard, because they belong to the state, right? National Guard. And then, but they get called up to active duty and stuff like that. So they still belong to the Army in the big picture, but they do belong to the state. So does that mean that the governor has to release them to go on active duty?
No, the president has to activate them. Yep.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Which we haven't since 9/11. We haven't since George W. Bush activated the reserves and National Guard. They haven't done anything right the way it should be done since then. Like they should have been deactivated a long time ago, and then but they're still being used.
Yeah.
Same thing with Marine Corps reserves. They're being used too. Now we use them a little bit differently. We're basically, for the most part, we're using them for like I forget what they're calling, DFTs, deployment for trainings, exercises and stuff like that. So
interesting.
Yep.
Now you've got your pulse on the active duty side, being where you are. I mean, to a certain extent, right?
Well, that's assuming they have a pulse. Yeah. Yeah, it's chaotic right now, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah. It says he's in the National Guard.
Yeah. I thought he was an infantry officer. I'm pretty sure in the National Guard.
But he was a major for sure.
Yeah. And Tulsi Gabbard was a reserve lieutenant colonel.
Maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe I got mixed up.
Yeah, you're probably thinking her.
She's a reserve lieutenant colonel. How does that work? Because she's she's in office, but also a reserve lieutenant colonel. How does that work?
I couldn't tell you.
That's an interesting dynamic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to imagine that she might have to what do they call it? Surrender her commission. Okay, that seems like too much of a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's something like that, but might be a topic for another show.
Agreed. Maybe we get Tulsi Gabbard on here to talk about it.
Hey, and Pete Hegseth.
If anybody has any connections to Tulsi Gabbard out there and can get her on the show, please let me know. That's for you TikTokers out there as well. Yeah. But I think my cat's about ready to pop here. She's meowing like crazy.
We're about to witness.
Oh, you didn't hear all that, did you, Mike?
Kitten birthing.
Yeah, we're gonna do kitten birthing live on
No.
on on the show. I hope you guys are ready.
Get ready, TikTok.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If
TikTok, you're
Vic,
gonna see
That's
something
the cat
special
you
tonight.
just got?
Maybe.
I got a cat.
Yeah, that's the cat you just got a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, she's pregnant, and I think she's getting ready to pop. She's meowing like crazy, and she's showing all the signs of I'm gonna give birth. So, and apparently, I'm the person that she has. What do you call? I don't know. Picked. What do you call it? I'm grew
she's
close
bonded.
to.
She's bonded with you. Yeah.
There you go. Bonded. She bonded with me. I told the wife, I was like, she can bond with me and I'll pet her head, but I ain't looking at the bottom side. I don't want to see it. I can't
How are you
handle
gonna?
that.
Excuse me. I apologize. I didn't mean to say that. What are you gonna do with all those kittens?
Good. We're gonna give them away or sell them. Probably give them away.
We're keeping at least.
And of course, my child in the other room. No, we're keeping at least one. I don't know about all that.
I think you should institute a one in, one out policy for anything from this point forward.
Good point. One in, one out, girls. One in, one out.
Yep. You want a kitten? Getting rid of something.
I'm pretty sure they just flipped me off.
Explain that in my house.
How many did you say you had at your house the other day? You said you had like 6 dogs, right?
No, at Christmas time I had between ours, my daughters, and our sons, it was 8 dogs.
8 dogs.
And 3 cats.
Oh, and 3 cats. You were living in the shit. Literally.
Yeah.
Nice.
I won't say too much more because I'll get yelled at. So.
You know your place.
That's about it for military news. I yield the rest of my time.
All right, very well. Well, let's cut on over to current news with Aaron.
Well, Vic already started it, but I was going to talk about the fires, but I'll just go ahead and kind of mention some of the knowns right now. So Santa Ana winds are expected to strengthen and maintain, 30 to 50 mile an hour winds and up to 70 mile per hour winds through Wednesday.
Wow.
So there's obviously a warning still in effect until then. So far, what I'm seeing, there's at least 16 people killed. The fires have swept through 40,000 acres, and there's been 12,300 structures destroyed.
Now, I saw something today, and I don't know how true it was. It was on the face pages, so there's no telling. But the fire in Chicago, the biggest, destructive fire, whatever that's happened or whatever, this is like tripled in size of what that was. Did you guys see anything like that?
No, I don't think I've seen that specific thing you're talking about. But I mean, 40,000 acres. Yeah, I would.
It's a lot, dude.
Yeah, that is a lot. But yeah, there's Vic, you said something earlier and I can't remember what it was. I went to look it up. Oh, people to rebuild. So it's funny you mentioned that. As you were saying that, I wanted to see if there's any update on it. But apparently Gavin Newscomb, since Mark's not here to say it, has issued an executive order to suspend those hurdles.
Of course he did. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's nice.
That being said, they also created a fact check website that funds Act Blue, who funds Democrats, and they want you to go to that site and donate for the victims. I wonder where all that money's going.
I bet you it's not to the victims.
I bet it's not either. But anyway, I digress on that, and I'll continue on with the facts.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is, but
yeah.
I'm trying to be positive here.
Yeah, I am too. The Palisades fire is only 11% contained, and that's the one that has apparently done all the damage to the neighborhoods.
11%.
11%, and it's threatening Brentwood, Encino, and Westwood areas now.
God, dude.
Yeah, I just texted a good buddy of mine. It's a veteran from 29 Palms. He's a firefighter, paramedic in Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in there, and he's down in San Diego. That's San Diego County. I think in that area. But I said, "Hey, you doing okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, they
Your dogs need to be heard.
Hey." He said, "Yeah, I'm still here at the station because they have fears of it spreading south to San Diego." So,
No kidding.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "We're just sitting here." He said, "I can't go home. I can't do anything." He said, we're just sitting here."
Well, if it does go south, that means it's going to hit Pendleton.
Yeah.
And engulf it.
Well, that's what he told me. He said, unfortunately, the way things are forecasting right now, because the weather calmed down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think yesterday or whatever, but now it's changing. And he said, it looks like things are coming south. So I don't know what that means. So I don't, I can only assume it's coming from LA down, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it would have to, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's
yeah.
where the fire is, up by LA.
Yeah. So, because I texted him, I said, "Hey, you doing okay? You all right?" Because before he's gone up there, and they had to go up in some of those other fires over the years, and he's like, "Yeah, right now I'm fine. I'm just sitting here. I can't go anywhere. Just sitting here." So,
good times.
Yeah.
So I misspoke. So the Eaton fire, which is the Altadena area, has seen the worst effects. And that is about 14 miles northeast of downtown Los Angeles.
Wow.
And it's only 27% contained right now.
Lord, man. That is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen things on, how Biden, immediately promised everything in the world to California, and I get it. And we still have victims from the hurricanes, up in the Appalachian Mountains and even down here in Florida. And I get it, all tragic events, but I think about sometimes, like my neighbor, we were talking earlier today. He's like, "Yeah, our house may have flooded and I had to replace all my floors and baseboards and walls and stuff like that." He said, "But some of these people out there in California, ashes is all that's left."
Yeah.
You have to completely rebuild, even if you're able to, like Vic was talking about earlier. Actually, Jillian Michaels, y'all know who Jillian Michaels is?
Yep.
Fitness chick was on Biggest Loser anyway.
Yeah.
And she left the Democratic Party, but she said when she lost her house in 2018, it took them a year to approve a permit for them to go in and basically tear everything down and start rebuilding. That was just a permit to go in and clean everything up. So we'll see, but I'm willing to bet there's not going to be a whole lot of rebuilding in these areas. I think there's going to be connecting the dots. I think there's going to be some things that come up in those areas that have nothing to do with neighborhoods.
Yeah. My heart goes out to those people that lose everything and suffer. What bothers me is when it pops up, all of a sudden my phone goes ding, and it's like Paris Hilton or somebody like that. And I'm like, you guys will report that, but you won't report about the 200 just ordinary people that lost everything. And I'm not saying one loss is more, less or more than the other, but it's just it's unbelievable what they're going through right now. It's no different than you guys. You already
Yep.
said it, with the hurricanes and that. So, but what does a state like California do? I mean, this is an annual thing.
Yeah.
At some point in time, I mean, do they have the ability to control some of that? Or, I mean, what?
Well, that's like Jillian was saying, is like they suspended like control burning, right? That will eliminate a lot of this kindling that's just been sitting on the ground and getting dry and all that. They've eliminated that. She grew up out there, and she said, when I was a kid, they used to do control burns all the time, and we didn't have wildfires to this scale. There's always going to be a wildfire, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast. But if you can do control burns and I think there's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered. And I think there's going to be some people replaced that are in office right now out there. But you can't change policy that's going to I guess what I'm trying to say, affect everybody as a whole, and think you're going to get away with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, they've changed the infrastructure of nature so drastically in the state of California that, I mean, what do you expect them? I mean, it doesn't make it better, but it's like you can't reroute rivers, and they're literally getting water from other states.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you've got, okay, let's go. They're like, well, we don't have any water. Okay, well, let's look at like Israel. They tapped into the damn ocean, desalination plants and everything else. I mean, why hasn't the state of California done crap like that? Or do they? I mean, maybe I'm mistaken that they don't. I don't think
they do, but
to that extent. I mean, it's like, you can't drain. I mean, like California is one of the biggest, what is it, like walnuts or whatever it is. And they claim that like walnuts and walnuts, pistachios or something drain for like one nut. It's like a gallon of water.
Whoa.
I may be mistaken on what nut it is, but yeah, they grow well there, and that's why they do it. But stop and think. I mean, they've drained lakes.
Yeah.
Just for water, but they don't seem to be able to come up with a plan to have an alternative. I don't get it.
Now, I was seeing a bunch of stuff that they were taking money and diverting it instead of putting it where it was originally supposed to go, diverting it to other things. Now, if they're doing stuff like that, that's just jacked up. If it's money set aside specifically for, irrigation, water, those types of things, they should be putting the money toward that. They shouldn't be shifting it somewhere else. And I could be completely wrong. Again, that was on one of the social media sites, but
well, that's no different than, the federal government. I mean, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's pistachios.
Yes. It's some ungodly amount of water that they require to grow.
But pistachios are really good.
Well, they're good, but yeah, they're sucking the water out of the state of California.
Yeah, pistachios require about 3 acre feet, so that's 3,700 cubic meters of water per acre.
Wow.
Compared with nearly 4 acre feet for almonds, and produce more per acre than almonds while fetching a higher price.
Yeah, that's why they're so damn expensive.
Yeah. Dang. Gotta love
Oh,
it.
a mature pistachio tree in the southern San Joaquin. I'm saying that San
Joaquin?
Joaquin. There we go. Valley needs about 46 inches of water per season.
That's
46
quite a bit.
inches. Yeah, that's quite a
That's a
bit.
lot, especially
Yeah,
in the area, right?
yeah.
Wow. That's wild, man.
Yep.
So how many heads do you think are going to roll for this whole debacle that's going on? Do you think anyone out of the state?
I don't think heads will roll, but I think the state will start seeing a change.
You think when you say change, are you talking change in
And
as far as
who they're voting for? Yeah,
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 yeah, it's very possible for sure.
yeah. That's why I
Yeah.
say you can't change the policies that affect all and expect nothing to happen. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Carolla was talking about that on his podcast.
Yep.
That these people are going to start flipping real soon. Especially once they start trying to pull permits and they can't even start construction for a year and or 3 and these are people that are millionaires. Your money's supposed to be good for something, and now they can't even rebuild their house on the ocean in Malibu, for 3 years if they're lucky. And what I mean, if there are actually people out there like trying to start GoFundMe pages, give me a break. I mean, it's if you want to help people that are out there, give to the Red Cross. If you earmark money to the Red Cross, the Red Cross can only use money for that, catastrophe. So if you say I want my money to go towards the fires in California, that's the only thing that they're allowed to use it on. So if you want to help people, don't go to these sites that say, oh, go fund me because we lost everything. And probably 80% of those are scams anyways.
Well, I wouldn't go to any site that Gavin Newsom told me to go donate to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you see the woman
of
that
all people
ordered him while he was trying to call the president?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So he's out surveying the damage, and he's got his entourage of SUVs, and the woman from her house had just burned to ashes, recognizes him, makes a beeline straight towards him. It's like, what are you going to do about all the destruction? You helped cause this. What are you going to do about it? And he's like, I'm trying to call the president right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to call the president because I want to ask for some money. Yeah, I'm trying to call him.
Oh.
So quick update because I keep hitting refresh and getting updates. As of 8 minutes ago, the death toll has risen to 24.
Whoa. God bless, man.
No kidding.
And the LA County sheriffs have started using cadaver dogs to go through the ashes.
There's going to be more.
Oh yeah.
Golly, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, those fires, they moved pretty fast, especially with the wind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying some of the wind gusts in the mountains are approaching 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about 70-mile-an-hour winds and a fire, man, it's almost like a fire's doing a sprint, right?
There's no stopping it. Yeah, there's no way to stop it. I mean,
And it's not just the wind pushing the fire. It's it creates embers which become airborne, and it's the wind that pushes the embers is how it jumps highways and jumps crevasses and jumps rivers and all that kind of stuff. So that's where the majority of the damage is from. All these embers get created and they get airborne and they're sent everywhere through the wind.
Yep.
Which is why we only have 11 or 27% containment.
That's just insane. You would think that we'd be able to do better. I mean, we're getting, aircraft from both Mexico and Canada to come in and help with all this stuff, you think we'd have a better handle on it.
Now, I don't know. It's still conjecture and anecdotal, but apparently there was the fire chief in California for Los Angeles gutted a lot of the department in favor of some DEI hires. So there's a lot of people.
I had actually read an article on that.
Yeah. So people that were people that were experienced were fired, and people that were hired to replace them not as experienced because they were DEI hires, either females or whatever, or LGBTQ, whatever. That's what Adam Carolla was touching on, was like, you guys voted for this stuff. This is literally what you voted for. I mean, and I'm not trying to point, okay, you get what you deserve. But it's horrible when you see the real life consequences of the power of your vote.
That's a good point.
And it's taking now 20 some odd people dead, and thousands and thousands of structures burned and tens of thousands of acres burned to the ground to make a point. It's like the people in California are cutting off their nose to spite their face. Come on.
Yeah, and that's say what you go on with what you're saying, Vic, is he's one of my best friends, but we were in 29 Palms in 93, 94, and he got out, but Jimmy Pearson, the one I was saying, is a firefighter paramedic.
Yeah.
But he flat out said that. I've been texting him back and forth, and he said, we as Californians have created this problem. And it's sad that's it's really, when you think about it, it's disgusting to think about. We can think whatever we want to think about, California being a liberal state with this or that, but they're still human beings. But it's like this. It's like, how long do you mislead people to follow this agenda? And it takes crap like this. Is it going to change? Unfortunately, out of all this devastation, deaths, is it going to change? I hope.
I don't know.
But it's when you got
changed a little bit for a
when
little
you
while.
got freaking celebrities and crap like that, going on. You got people like Bark out there. You've got good people. I'm not saying no one's bad, but it's like you've got good people out there, and they're having to pay the price for the masses.
Yeah.
That just drink the Kool-Aid. And I don't understand. It's no different than out there than anybody else, anywhere else in the country. But it's like, really? Some states are able to rein it in. California isn't one of them. You go to Northern California, they're completely different than Southern California. They're like, yeah, just cut this bitch in half. And we'll be North California, they can be South California, But
yeah, I'm not sure that would ever work out, being honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know where that line would be. But
well, it's really,
I
think Mark said it once before. It's really just in LA County, San Diego County. It's around San Francisco. It's literally those major metropolitan areas.
It's the population.
Yeah. It's not, everywhere else in California, they're more conservative. They, they don't believe in all the,
you go out to Bakersfield or somewhere like that.
Right. Yeah. They don't believe in all the crap that, that the left is doing. But
well, I mean, that's the nature between progressives and conservatives. Progressives believe we are our brother's keeper. So progressives all cloister together. That's why all the major cities are all blue. And that's why all the urban, or I'm sorry, all the urban stuff and all the rural, all the rural populace is all red. Because the people that are each other's brothers and sisters, and we've got to have all these social programs. They all cloister together and live in cities so they can keep an eye on each other and help each other through social programs. And I'll take money for you to give it to that person. But everybody that wants to be left alone lives out in the country. Leave me alone. Let me have my own pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I'll either make it or I won't. But I don't need your help. I don't want your help. Leave me alone. Yeah. So it's that's the what I consider to be one of the fundamental differences. That's why every major city is blue.
It's a good point.
Yeah, but that's why there's people that are like, leave me alone, let me live my own life, let me do what I want to do, or labeled. You're some crazy ass that owns guns or does this, or it's like, no, just leave me the hell alone.
Yep.
I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
That whole leave me alone thing, I don't know if it ever will work itself out. Who knows?
They tried that. Ruby Ridge.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't work out too well.
No. It didn't.
Leave me alone. No, we won't. And then they came in and took over. Wow. All right, Aaron, you got anything else, fam?
No. We'll see how long this goes, but
Yeah.
I think that's all I've got.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say this next week we'll have a new president. So.
Oh, that's right.
Well, we'll do one more show before that, right? What's next?
Next Sunday. Yeah. You're right.
Speaking of presidents, did anybody see what the Judge Merchan did for the sentencing?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'm asking, what was the final verdict?
It was basically, I can't remember what it's called. I'll look it up and tell you in a minute. But it's suspended everything basically. The sentencing,
right?
Still, I forget what it's called, but it basically gives him the charges. So he's a felon now, but he got no sentencing.
That's weird.
Yeah.
How can you give him a felony with no sentencing? How does that work?
I don't know. It's probably the same concept of charging him for a crime where there's no victims.
Unconditional discharge is what they call it.
I'm sorry, I was kind of paying attention to something else. What are we talking about?
So Trump's the Judge Merchan up in New York, in the hush money case. The Trump was trying to get all the sentencing dismissed because he's going to be president, and Merchan was like, okay, well, we can either do it after you're president or do it now. Let's do it now. So they went through about a week of trying to appeal the pending sentencing, and judge was like, no, we're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. So they, I think it would just happen day before yesterday, something like that. Yesterday. So I guess Aaron was just saying everything was just what would you call it, Aaron?
It's an unconditional discharge.
Yeah.
It waives legal penalties for a crime, but pop-ups.
Well, I kept getting alerts saying stuff where I'm assuming what we're talking about, that a judge blocked it, and then something else happened, and then today I got stuff was saying that DOJ, that investigator resigned after posting.
Oh, that's Jack Smith. Yeah, that was Jack Smith.
Posting everything, basically letting it all out, and he's like, yeah, I quit, I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah, he was never, I mean, the word on the street is that he was never legally appointed. Because for that type of investigation, he's supposed to be appointed by Congress, and he was
Yeah.
appointed by the Department of Justice, which
Yeah.
is not how. So he had no legal authority to theoretically. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not a lawyer. I played
Well,
golf.
he threw
Yeah.
it all out there
Lead
because
the
that
judge.
was what he's going to do. He threw it out there and said, "I quit. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out." You know, that way it was all posted at that point. But
Yeah, all the lawfare it was ridiculous. All the overvaluing of Mar-a-Lago for his loan request. The bank literally said in court, we don't care. We would have given him the loan anyways. And then the judge is like, no, you guys are the victims. No, we're not. We would have given him the loan anyways because he's had 21 loans with us and he's paid them all back. We don't care what the value of Mar-a-Lago is. He's one of our best customers. We're not a victim in this. No. You're a victim. You're a victim.
yeah, we've talked about that, but then I read that again today, and then there was another. It was included with it. The DOJ report that was released was the excessive amounts of documents that Trump had at Mar-a-Lago, and I'm like, what? The way they talked, it was like just thousands and thousands of documents, and I was like, huh?
But correct me if I'm wrong on that. As the president of the United States, he was allowed to have that stuff. But if you're the vice president of the United States, you are not allowed to have that stuff. And the current president, who was vice president at the time, had stuff like that, and nothing came of it, correct?
Correct. He had absolutely thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and even more thousands of documents over the years, from when he was in Senate and when he was vice president.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, on the floor in his garage.
And he's not even authorized to take it out of the area that he's at.
On the floor of his garage.
There was.
Seriously.
Right next to the Corvette. Yeah.
But you got military guys getting hemmed up, you know, for incredibly small, in comparison, incredibly small things. Now, should they get hemmed up? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, you look at the difference in somebody at that level versus your military guy at the bottom, right?
Well, if you remember, what's his name? The special prosecutor for what's his name? In his report said that there was plenty to charge him on, but it wouldn't stick because they would feel bad for a frail old man who happened to be our president.
Oh, we look great in the eyes of the rest of the world
because he can't remember what he's doing, one thing after the other.
He did a good job giving a speech at Jimmy Carter's service. I mean, I was actually impressed.
I need to find out what they're.
He only stumbled a couple times.
I need to find out what they're giving him to keep him awake that long. I need some energy.
Maybe they woke him up right before. And it was fresh.
No, literally before he was sitting there, he fell asleep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then he got up there, and I said to my wife, we were sitting there watching it because she was at the hospital having a procedure done, and we were sitting there before she went in to have it done, and we were watching it, and he got up there and he's like, is there a buffet after this? You know, that's what I expected him to say. It's like, is there food after this? We get to eat?
Do I get my Jello?
Yeah. Is there a potluck? Where's it at?
Is there a potluck?
Where's the ice cream?
Hey,
my God.
I will say this: Obama and Trump were having a good old time at Jimmy Carter's.
Yeah. The expression on Kamala Harris's face was hilarious.
Yeah. And Hillary, of course.
I have to go back and watch that. So they were having a good old time, Obama
They were
Trump,
sitting side by side, Trump and Obama. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
just talking
Trump,
and
Now
Obama
was
and Trump talked more than anybody else amongst each other.
usually Obama's wife and Bush are really close, and they're always acting up and cutting the fool. Were
Well,
they
George W.
George
No,
W. Sure.
Michelle wasn't there, but George W. didn't say one word to Trump. Didn't even look at him.
No. Yeah, that was the whole time I kept sitting there watching Obama and Trump. I was like, first I said, man, that's got to be killing Obama. But they were back and forth. I was like, I didn't know if it was like dick ass, I didn't know if they were what they were saying to each other. But
they could have been talking crap back and forth. Yeah, that's right. But that reminds me of military guys. I mean, we talk crap back and forth, so maybe it was good,
I was reading an article today about because Pence was sitting like 3 rows back,
Mm-hmm.
and after the fact, Trump and Pence shook hands, and they were talking, and it was an article, was talking Pence. They're like, well, what did you guys talk about? He was like, he said, I've always told him that I continue to pray for him. He said, I told him after everything happened after the election that, you disagree with what I did by, I had a constitutional right I had to do. And he said, he told him again, he said, Mr. President, congratulations. And he was like, thank you. And he said, you do realize I continue to pray for you. And he said, Pence says, Trump said, and don't ever change.
Oh, no kidding.
It's like, hey, I did what I had to do constitutionally, and I still continue to pray for you. And according to him, Trump said, and don't ever change. So we'll see. I don't know.
I can see that, man.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone way off topic, and I apologize. But let's do some good news with Mike.
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear in the background. My wife and sitting there watching a movie. It's going. Oots, 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 oots. So
I don't hear it, but now I wish I did.
Pants and boots and pants and
it's like I'm at the club. It's like oots, 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 oots.
Pants and boots and pants and boots.
Yeah. Something in. No, what was that movie with boats and something or other?
Boats and hose.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to plague the
boats and hose.
You said it. I didn't say it. So it's your podcast, not mine.
What movie was that? I don't remember the name of it.
Step
Brothers. Is that what it was? Yeah. That's pretty good.
All righty. Sir, I was unprepared, so we've been talking and listening. That's why I wasn't paying attention earlier. I was trying to find an article here. But it says firefighters surprise a boy with a brand new bicycle after cutting his leg out of his bike after a tragic accident. So on December 18th, Fernando Beach Fire Department rushed to a scene of a bicycle collision with a car where a young man was trapped under his bike and inside his bike.
Dang.
Before the firefighters could free the boy named KJ, they had to cut his foot loose and cut the bike from his body that the spokes had impaled his leg, ultimately ruining the bike. KJ was then brought to the hospital to be treated for injuries, including a nasty ankle sprain, an ankle sprain on one leg, and an ankle break where they had to cut him free. But seeing how it was the holidays, the firemen felt they had to do something, and they felt bad for him. They came back to the hospital the next day, brought him a brand new bike and a helmet. The following day, they shared a photograph on Fernando Fire Department Facebook page of them surprising KJ with his brand new bike and his brand new helmet. He was asleep but he woke up soon to find his new gift. His mother, Joanna, smiling on behalf of the photo, said the injury was no debilitating injury. He has to recover from a broken ankle and the trauma from the spokes that stabbed him, but he will be fine. So this reminds us what the holidays are truly about. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to our fire members, our first responders, nurses, and doctors.
You know, I'm not to make a joke of the situation or anything, but do you think there was a little trauma there, and they getting him a bike? He's be like, I don't know if I want to jump back on this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what I would do.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I was like, well.
I mean, it was nice of him to do that.
Yeah.
New bike. But
the simple fact that he was hit hard enough by a car that his foot went through the spokes of the tire of the wheel, and it impaled him, and they had to cut.
They had to cut it out.
Foot out of it, yeah.
Hey, Andrew, what does a bull rider do when he gets bucked off?
He gets back on.
He gets back on.
Yeah,
Get
but
back on the
bike
bike
rider
now.
ain't the same as a bull rider. A bull rider is batshit crazy.
Well, so is this kid now.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
I mean, I had a bike wreck when I was a kid, and
I remember that.
Yeah, and then like when I had my cast taken off, the doctor hit me with the saw. I mean, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I don't think you can see it, but I have a scar like right here still, where I got hit by the saw, and I didn't get a bike. I'm telling you, man, I was jaded.
Was that the bike wreck whenever we were going down the big hill there in Vian?
Oh no, that wasn't that.
Oh, that's right. That was when you were in college, right?
No, this was when I was riding back and forth to Aunt Jan's. I wiped out one corner, loose gravel, and went down and broke my wrist.
I remember me and you riding, and I was behind you, and it had been raining, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And we were going down that big hill, and it's like down, and then it's a left-hand turn back up a giant hill, right? And we went down, and you went down, like you fell on the bike, and you were sliding. What did I do? I bailed, man. I threw the bike, and I like jump off. And so you get down to the bottom. Not only did you roll and tumble with your own bike, my bike was on top of you in the mix of the whole thing. And I'm at the top of the hill like, ooh, that sucks.
I remember well. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I remember the cranks were still spinning, and like the cranks like hit me in the head like 3 times. Bap, bap, bap. Yeah, that sucked.
Oh, good time. Yeah, for us. Is it just me, Mike? Did you hear me? Do you have any good news for us? Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'm sorry, I was underprepared tonight. It was a short story.
It's all good. We talked and rambled about all kinds of craziness, so it's all good.
Yeah, actually, I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it too.
Didn't need good news.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here. We'll go ahead and do words of wisdom. Who wants to go first and who wants to go last? We don't have Mark here, so no zingers. But well, unless you bring one, if you bring a zinger, and then so be it. Who would like to go first?
Me.
That's Taylor in the background. Me, I want to
What's
go
your
first.
words of wisdom?
What's your words of wisdom, baby?
What does that mean?
Some smart words. What do you got?
Good advice.
Good advice, yeah. What's some good advice?
Get a giraffe.
What?
Get a giraffe.
Get a giraffe.
Oh,
That's your good advice. Taylor. All right, go on.
No. Sorry.
I gotta finish the podcast. Go on. TikTokers, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to live with it. All right, who wants to go first?
All right, I'll say one here.
All right.
Wisdom is a quality that keeps you from getting into situations where you actually need it.
Nice.
Good.
That was good. That was really good. Dang. Mike, maybe you should have gone last. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's not a Mark Zinger.
Well, that's true. I don't think any of us can bring up a Mark.
See, you just admitted mine wasn't good. You're like, yeah, you're right. I see how you're.
Well, you said it's not the same as a Mark Zinger, is all you said. And it's not, because he comes up with some crazy stuff. So, all right, Aaron, Vic, are we rock, paper, scissors in here? What are we doing?
Oh, I'll go. I would say and salute to all the people that are responding from all over the United States, going to California to help out. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on Earth.
Oh, say that one more time.
Oh, wow.
Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on Earth.
Mm. That was good.
Well, that's a good one.
Really good. Hey, Aaron, you're screwed, man.
I know. That's why I'm trying to find a good one.
He's like, give me a minute. Holy cow, man. Yeah, Aaron, I don't know what you're going to do with this, but he's still got a smile on his face, so he's doing pretty good.
Well,
he doesn't know.
I found one, but yeah, they're all pretty much same ones we've heard over and over again. I'm trying to find a good one. Oh, here's you one. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
Ooh, that was pretty good. Yeah,
doing my best.
Yep.
Still working on it.
Jury's still out.
Yeah, maybe we'll get there eventually.
They're still shaking hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Better than shaking babies.
What is it? What is it? Shaking hands, throwing babies. What is it?
Shaking hands and kissing babies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kissing hands and throwing babies.
Yeah.
That's our current president. Yeah.
Kissing hands and throwing babies. Yes.
What's for lunch?
Yeah.
Where's the ice cream?
Oh my God! And with that, if you're out there, you're struggling, you need some help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255 or go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. The crew cares about you. The entire veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you serve with. Ask them how they're doing. If they need that helping hand, please give them that helping hand. All right, to my crew, thank you guys. I appreciate you. To all the listeners out there, stay motivated. Change your socks.
Ton Tavern, birthplace of the Corps. We as Marines hold this history close to our hearts. Wouldn't it be spectacular if the establishment was born again? The Ton Legacy Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3, is taking the task and is looking to the Marines to once again save the day. Help the Lost Art podcast in raising funds to help get the Ton built once again, only 100 yards from the original establishment in Philadelphia. We are looking for Marines to donate $25, representing the upcoming 250th birthday of the Corps. Spread the message and help establish the Ton, a place for Marine brethren to gather and remember our historic beginning. Go to the Lost Art GoFundMe page and donate today. The Ton Legacy Foundation, reestablishing our birthplace.